So hello everyone, welcome to another video on discrete maths. We were doing this topic called relation, and hopefully this is going to be the final video on that topic. In the last video we saw what it means for a relation to be an equivalence relation. We saw that if a relation is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then it is an equivalence relation. Then we saw how an equivalence relation give rise to this concept of equivalence classes. Right, and then we saw how these different equivalence classes will partition the entire set into different partitions. We saw all these things in our last video. In today's video we are going to look at another topic. It is called partial ordering. So what is a partial ordering? Let us start with the definition. Okay, a relation R on a set S is called a partial ordering or a partial order if it is reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive. Previously in equivalence relation, we saw that a relation on a set was an equivalence relation if it was symmetric, if it was reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now we are saying that a relation is partial order if it is symmetric, if it is reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive, right? Okay, so it has to be reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive. Okay, so we have this relation on this set A. Together they will form this pair, ordered pair, right? We call this the partial ordered set or poset. So what do we have here? Here we have the set and the relation. Together we keep them in an ordered pair. This is how we denote a partial ordered set, also called a poset. Okay. Now let us look at a few problems. Okay. Say we have this thing. The set is the set of integers, all right, and the relation is greater than or equal to. This is a poset that we have written. Okay, this is the relation greater than or equal to, and my set is the set of integers. I am trying to figure out if this is a partial ordered set. So I have to figure out if this is reflexive, if this is antisymmetric and if this is transitive. Alright, so is it reflexive? For all integers, does A belong to the relation? What is the relation? Relation is R. It contains AB, okay, such that A is greater than B. So is A greater than or equal? So not greater than equal. So is all A greater than equal to A? So A is equal to A, B is equal to B. So all integers are equal to itself. So all integers are greater than or equal to itself, right? So all A, they belong to the relation. Therefore the relation is reflexive. Next we have to figure out if it is antisymmetric. Alright. So it means if A is greater than B and B is greater than A, when will this happen? A is two integers, A and B. A is greater than B and B is greater than A. This is only possible when A is equal to B, right? So this is the definition of antisymmetry. Alright. So we know this relation is antisymmetric. Then next is transitive. Okay. Say A is greater than B and B is greater than C. Then we know that A is greater than C, right? So if AB belongs to the relation A is greater than B and BC belongs to the relation, that is B is greater than C, then we know that A is greater than C. So AC belongs to the relation. So we know that the relation is transitive. Alright. So this relation R, that is your greater than or equal to relation, on the set of integers is a partial ordered relation. Alright. Now this thing we know is a poset. This is the set of integers, this is the relation greater than or equal to. We know this is a poset. This is a partial ordered relation. Alright. Next, let us try to figure this out. This operation, okay, subset on the power set of some set, okay, of some set, say A. Is this a partial order? So, I hope you understood the question. I have some set A. Now I have this power set of A, okay, and then I have this operation subset. So what does my relation contain? Are such that AB, okay, such that A is a subset of B. So if A is a subset of B, then AB will be in my relation. Alright, now think about it. What is A and B? A and B are elements of power set of some set. Okay, so I have this set A, and out of that set A I get the power set of A. Now my elements in the relation are are elements of this power set. Alright, so alright, let us now try to figure out, is AA in the relation, all AA in the relation. Okay, think about it. All A is a subset of A. Every set is a subset of itself. We know that. We saw it in the beginning when we were looking at set theory. Okay, we know all sets are subset of itself. So all this AA, BB, CC will belong to the relation. So we know this relation is what? Reflexive. Okay. Next, let us figure out if it is antisymmetric. Okay. What does it mean to say that a set is that this is antisymmetric? A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A. When is this possible? We know this is the definition of equality. This means A is equal to B. Okay. So we already know that in order to prove that two sets are equal, we have to do this. We have to show that one set is a subset of the other and the other is a subset of the first. Alright. So that is how we can show that two sets are equal. Now we are given that A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A. That means A is equal to B. Right. So if A is a subset of B, if AB belongs to the relation and BA belongs to the relation, it is only possible when A is equal to B. Correct? This is the definition of this antisymmetry. Alright. Now let us talk about transitive. If A is a subset of B and B is a subset of C, right, then we know that A is a subset of C. Correct? We know this basic set theory. So we know this is transitive. Alright. So this on this set, this relation, subset relation, alright, on this set P of power set of A, we know it is reflexive, it is antisymmetric and it is transitive. Therefore we know that this relation is a partial ordered relation. That is, we know that this poset, this P of A and the relation subset, this is a partial ordered set. Alright. Okay. Let R be a relation on set of all people. Okay. And XY this x and y belongs to the set of all people, belongs to the relation if x is older than y. Okay, my question is this a partial ordered relation? Think about it. I have to find three things. I have to find if it is reflexive, if it is antisymmetric, and if it is transitive. Alright, now let us try to figure out if it is transitive. If some person x is older than y, okay, and y is older than z, then we know x is older than z. Right? So if x is older than y and y is older than z, then x has to be older than z. So I know this is transitive. Okay. Is it antisymmetric? So one person x is older than y, then is it possible that y would be older than x? It is not possible, right? If I am older than you, then you cannot be older than me. This is not how strictly greater than works. In case of greater than equal to, okay, it would have what? In case of equal to, x could be greater than equal to y could be greater than equal to x, then that would have made that x is equal to y. But here I don't have that equal to. Okay, so if x is is greater than y, then there is no way in which y can be greater than x. Okay, so if xy belongs to the relation, yx cannot belong to the relation. Okay, so it is antisymmetric. Okay. Now what is antisymmetric? We will talk about antisymmetric a little bit more after we finish this thing. Okay. Now is it reflexive? Okay. Is it possible that the age that I am older than myself? Okay. Can my age be greater than my age? Can one be greater than one? Okay. So think about it. It is not possible. So a person cannot be older than himself, right? So XX will not belong to the relation. All these XX, YY, ZZ, they will not belong to the relation, right? So X cannot be older than himself. Y cannot be older than himself, herself. Alright. So this is not reflexive. Because of this, we know that this relation, the relation on the set of all people, such that, what is the relation? It is given by XY such that X is older than Y. This is not a partial ordered relation. Okay. Okay, I said that I will talk a little bit about antisymmetric. So what does antisymmetric means? Antisymmetric means that if xy belongs to the relation, okay, and yx belongs to the relation, then x has to be equal to y. Okay. Only in this case xy and yx can both belong to the relation. If, what is the contrapositive form of this? Alright, think about it. The contrapositive will be not x equal to y, implies not this entire thing, right? Xy belongs to R and yx belongs to R. Okay, this means x not equal to y. What does that mean? That means, let me apply De Morgan's law inside here. It would mean xy not belongs R or yx not belongs R. Okay, so from this definition we notice if x is not equal to y, then one of these will not belong to the relation. If xy belongs to the relation, then yx will not belong to the relation. If yx belong to the relation, then xy will not belong to the relation. Alright. If x is not equal to y, it is possible that both of them will not belong to the relation. That is not a problem. But then, if one of them belongs to the relation, the other cannot belong. Alright. Both of them will belong to the relation only when x is equal to y. Okay, we already talked about this. I am just giving you a revision. Okay. So when talking about antisymmetric, you cannot say that xy and yx, both of them will not belong. Okay, both of them will not belong only when x and y are not equal. Okay, for example, if x and y are equal, so if 1 1, 2 2, 3 3, okay, so they can belong in an antisymmetric relation, but then 2 1 and 1 2, it cannot belong. Okay, so xy and yx, if both of them belongs, that means x has to be equal to y. If x is not equal to y, then both xy and yx, both of them together, they cannot belong. Okay, so that is, once again, we are trying to recall what we learned when we were talking about antisymmetric. So let us go back to our current topic. This is poset. All right. Hold on. Okay. Now see, we will do more problems later on, but then we saw this, right? Some set A and some symbol. This is one way to write a partial ordered set. All right. Now this is one specific symbol, right? This is greater than or equal to symbol. So this is the relation AB such that A is greater than or equal to B. Now this is very specific. When we talk about poset, we want to talk in general. So we will use another symbol, right? This will be this symbol. It looks like greater than or equal to, but it is a different symbol, and this is a very generic symbol, right? So this looks like greater than or equal to because greater than or equal to is a very common example that we use to denote poset, right? So this looks like this, but then this is a generic symbol, and this, with this symbol, with this relation, we will talk about poset in general. All right. So you will know what I am talking about. Sorry, this is not greater than or equal to. We saw greater than or equal to is a poset, less than or equal to is also a poset. This is the symbol, less than, looks like less than. All right. So it does not matter what is the symbol we use. We just use a general symbol to indicate the relation. All right. Now let us talk about one more example. Okay. This symbol. Okay. This symbol means AB means A divides B. Okay. And then this, the set of integers, positive integers set, and this symbol, this means we have a relation R. R is this relation AB such that A divides B. Okay, so this, is this a poset? That is what I am asking. Okay, on the set of integers, I have set of positive integers, I have this divides relation. Okay, is it reflexive? So 1 divides 1, 2 divides 2, 3 divides 3. So all the integers divide itself, right? So it is reflexive. Correct. Is it antisymmetric? If 2 divides 4, does 4 divide 2? So 2 divides 4 properly, right? We know that. Does 4 divide 2? 4 does not divide 2. Okay. So we know that if A divides B and B divides A, then A and B should be equal. If A and B are not equal, then if A divides B, then B cannot divide A. Okay. So we know this is antisymmetric. And is it transitive? 2 divides 4, 4 divides 12. So does 2 divide 12? Yes, 2 divides 12. Okay. So it is transitive. Okay. So we know that this relation, this divides relation on the set of positive integer, we know that this is a partial ordered set. Okay. This relation is partial ordered, and then this set is partial order set. Okay. Now let us talk about this idea of elements being comparable. Okay. When I say elements of some partial order, say this is my partial order set, partial order set. When I say elements of this partial order, I actually means elements of my set. Okay. So say A and B are elements of this set. Okay. So A belongs to S and B belongs to S. Alright. Now I say my A and B are comparable if they are related by this partial order. That is, A is related by this to B, or B is related to A. Okay. Otherwise we say A and B are incomparable. Now, what does this mean? Let us say I have this number 3, 9. Okay, I have 4, 2, and I have 5, 7. Okay, I want to find out if 3 and 9 are comparable, 4, 2 are comparable, 5, 7 are comparable. My relation given is the set of positive integers and the divides, A divides B. Okay, so under this relation, given this poset, are these two comparable, are these two comparable, are these two comparable? That is my question. So I know 3 divides 9. So 3, 9 is in my relation. Okay, so 3 and 9 are comparable. I know 2 divides 4. Okay, so I know these two are comparable. So 2 and 4, 2, 4 is in my relation. So 2 and 4 are comparable. Now 5 does not divide 7. Okay, 7 does not divide 5. So 5, 7, 7, 5, both of them are not there in my relation. Right? So I know 5 and 7, these two are not comparable. Okay? So this is what comparable means. Comparable essentially means that two elements, if they belong to the relation by this operation, by this partial order, by this relation, alright. So two elements, if they belong to the relation, the ordered pair of these two elements belong to the relation, then we say that these two elements are comparable. So it can be either AB belongs to the relation or BA belongs to the relation. Okay. If either AB or BA belongs to the relation, we say that A and B are comparable. If neither AB nor BA belongs to the relation, then we say that they are incomparable. Alright. Let us look at another example. The example that we saw previously. This example, the power set of some set of integer and this subset relation. Alright. Now here I will have 1, 2 will be a element of the power set, right? 1, 2, 3 will be an element of the power set. So I know 1, 2 and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 is a subset of 1, 2, 3. Alright. So these two elements, these two sets which are elements of the power set, so these two elements are comparable. Alright. On the other hand, 1, 2 is not a subset of 1, 3. Similarly, 1, 3 is not a subset of 1, 2. Okay. So these two are not related. So 1, 2 is not a subset of 1, 3. 1, 3 is not a subset of 1, 2. So 1, 2 and 1, 3. This element, so this element is also a set. So this set 1, 3 and this set 1, 2, they are not comparable. Okay, given this relation in this set. Okay, that is given this poset. So this is what comparable and incomparable means. Okay. Okay. If this poset, some poset, okay, some set and some relation is a poset. So if this set and this relation, this is partially ordered, that is this under this relation under this set is reflexive, symmetric, reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive, then it is a poset, right? So if this is a poset and every two elements of S are comparable, then S is called a total ordered set and the relation is called a total order. Okay, so what does this mean? Look at the definition first. We have some poset. Okay, so this relation on this set is reflexive, antisymmetric, transitive. So this is a poset, and then within this poset, okay, under this relation, all the elements of this set are comparable. For example, previously we saw these two poset, that is your subset in some power set, and then this divides in positive integer. We saw that all the elements are not comparable, right? So we saw that in divides relation, for example, in my set of positive integers and in divide, I saw that 5 does not divide 7 and 7 does not divide 5, right? So I saw that there are elements in my set that are not comparable, right? So this is not a total order. What is a total order? In total order, all the elements should be comparable. Okay, so let us talk about this relation once again. Okay, so set of all positive integer and then the greater than equal to relation. So what will happen here? If I take anything, okay, from this set of positive integer, if I take any elements, then those A and B, okay, either A will be greater than equal to B or B will be greater than equal to A, right? Okay, either A will be greater than B or A will be equal to B or B will be greater than A, right? So all the elements, any arbitrary A and B, if I pick from my set, alright, set of positive integer, then they will be comparable. Okay, it is not possible that I take any x and y, that x is not greater than equal to y and y is not greater than equal to x. Okay, so either x will be greater than equal to y or y will be greater than equal to x. Alright, so pick any two elements, they will be comparable. Alright, so this is this poset, this positive integer and the divides relation, this is a total order. Alright, okay, so next, let us look at this concept called well-ordered set. So S and some relation is a well-ordered say if this is a poset and this relation is a total order and every non-empty subset of S has a least element. Okay, so a well-ordered set. A well-ordered set is a poset. So it, first of all, it has to be a poset. Then it has to be a total ordered, right? So first is has to be a poset. Then all the elements have to be comparable. So it has to be a total order, and every non-empty subset of S need to have a least element. So what does this mean? Okay. So say I have this less than or equal to, this is my poset. Okay. So on set of positive integers and then the less than equal to. Okay. So what will happen here? Here, if I take any subset, okay, out of this. So what are my subsets possible? 1, 2, 5, anything. Okay, what is the least element in here? According to this relation, this is the least element. If I take the entire Z plus, what is my least element? This itself is my least element. Alright, so this relation is a well-ordered set. Now compare this with this set, the set of integers. Alright, not the set of positive integers. Now I have the set of integers. Now if I take the entire set, okay. Now if I take the entire set, that would be a subset of itself. So I can take the entire set. Now what is the least element of this set of integers given this relation? There is no least element, right? This is an infinite set. So this is not well ordered. Okay. So yeah, that is what we have. So given some relation, if you are if you can find a least element, then that would be a well-ordered set. Now tell me, think about it. This relation that we saw, okay, power set of some set and the subset relation, okay, is it well-ordered? Think about it. So you will need a least element, alright, in this set. So think about it. So if I take the entire set, okay, I will have 5. If I take a subset which contain 5 and then other elements, okay, so this is the subset of the power set that I have taken. The least element is 5, okay, but say I have taken this subset of this power set, okay, this is a subset of the power set, so I have taken this subset. What is the least element over here? Okay, this is less than this, fine. This is also less than this, but among these two, which one is the least? We don't know. Okay, so there is no specific least element, so this is not well ordered. All right. Next is, let us look at this topic called Hasse diagram. Okay. Okay. So say I have this set A equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. Okay. And my relation R, it contains AB such that A divides B. So I know this is a poset. Alright. What are all the elements that belongs to this set? So 1 divides 1, 2 divides 2, 3 divides 3, 4 divides 4, 5 divides, 5 is not there, 6 divides 6, 8 divides 8, and 12 divides 12. So all this will belong. Then 1 divides everybody else. 1 divides 2, 1 divides 3, alright, and so on. Then 2 divides 4, 2 divides 6, 2 divides 8, and so on. 3 divides 6, 3 divides 12, 4 divides 8, 4 divides 12, okay, 6 divides 12, 8 does not divide anyone else, 12 does not divide anyone else. Okay. Now what will happen? We can draw a diagram to represent this relation. Okay. We already saw that we can draw digraph. We can draw digraph to represent relation. So this is digraph once again. Let us draw this. This is too big. Anyway, let us go ahead and draw. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 6, 8, 12. Okay, so these are all the elements of my set. So I know 1 divides 1, so there will be a loop over here. 2 divides 2, there will be a loop. 3 divides 3, there will be a loop. 3 divides 6, there will be a loop. 4 divides 4, 6 divides 6, so there will be a loop. Okay, 12 divides 12, there will be a loop. 8 divides 8, there will be a loop. So then I know 1 divides 2, 3. Okay, so this will be there. 1 divides 2, this will be here. 1 divides 4, this will be here. 1 divides 6, I will have this. 1 divides 12, I will have this. 1 divides 8, I will have this. Alright. Then what else do I have? I have 2 divides 4. Okay, 2 divides 6. Then 2 divides 8. 2 divides 12. Alright. Then I have 3 divides 6. 3 divides, this will not be here. 3 divides 12. Alright. Then I have 6 divides 12. Okay. I have 4 divides 8. Alright. So yeah, in this way I will have all these bars. Alright. Now, this diagram is too cluttered. Alright. So what do we do? See, there are a few observations that I want you to make. First of all, I know this is a poset. Alright, this is a partial ordered set. So this relation is partial ordered. So what do I know? I know that all this relation is reflexive. Alright, since it is partial ordered, I know that this relation is reflexive. So there is this thing that I don't need to do. I don't need to draw all these loops. Okay, why don't I need to draw these loops? Because I know these loops will exist. This self loop will exist. All this 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 6 6 8 8 12 12, they will exist. All right, so I don't need to draw them explicitly. Okay, number 1, don't draw self loops. Okay, number 2, since it is a partial order relation, I know it is transitive. Okay, so if 1 divides 3 and 3 divides 6, I know 1 will divide 6. Alright, so if I have this h from 1 to 3 and 3 to 6, I don't need to draw this h from 1 to 6. Alright, so no need to draw. Don't draw transitive edges. This is my rule 2. Why don't I need to draw these transitive edges? Because these transitive edges, like these self loops, are implied. I know that if I have a h from 1 to 3 and 3 to 6, then I will have a h from 1 to 6. Why do I know this? I know this because my relation is a partial order relation. Since it is a partial order relation, it has to be reflexive, antisymmetric and transitive. So since it is reflexive, I know this self loop will be there. Since it is transitive, I know if there is some h from A to B and B to C, then there will be a h from A to C. Okay, so these are implied. Given that my relation is partial order, these are implied. I don't need to draw all this again. So these two things I don't need to draw. One is I don't need to draw the self loop. Another is I don't need to draw the transitive edges. So with that knowledge, let us try to redraw this directed graph. So this is my 8, 12, 4, 6, okay, then 2, 3 and 1. Okay, I don't need to draw the self loop. 1 will divide 3, okay, 1 will divide 2, 2 divides 4, fine, 3 divides 6, fine. Now 1 divides 6, but this is implied. This is implied by 1 divides 3 and 3 divides 6. So 1 will divide 6. 1 divides 6. This h I don't need to draw. Then 4 divides 8. Okay. 6 divides 12. Okay. So 3 divides 12 or 1 divides 12. Those I don't need to draw. Alright. Now, one thing. 1 divides 2, 2 divides 4, so 1 divides 4 I don't need to draw. 1 divides 2, 2 divides 4, 4 divides 8. So 2 divides 8 I don't need to draw. 1 divides 8 I don't need to draw. These are implied by my transitive relation. Alright. So 1 divides 2 and 2 divides 4. That will imply that 1 divides 4. So 1 4 should be there. And then 1 divides 4 is there. 4 divides 8 is there. So 1 8 should be there. But I don't need to draw them. Okay. But 2 divides 2 divides 6. This is not implied by any transitive relation till now. Okay. So I have to draw this. Okay. Similarly, 4 divides 8. This is not implied by any transitive relation. So I have to draw this. Okay. So this is one more drawing that I have. One more diagram that I have. In this diagram, what does it imply? It implies that 1 divides 2 and 2 divides 6. So 1 should divide 6. It is implied. Okay. All these transitive relations are implied. There are lots of transitive relations that are explicitly drawn here, but I don't need to draw here because this is a partial ordered set and I know here the transitive elements exist. Since I know that, I don't need to draw it anymore. Okay, that is implied, that is implicitly defined in here. Then I don't need to draw all this self loop. I know 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 6 6 8 8 12 12. All this exists in the relation. Okay, since it is partial order, so it is reflexive. Since it is reflexive, all this will exist in the relation. Okay, I know this. Okay, so I don't need to explicitly draw it again. Okay, this is also implied. Okay, I don't need to draw it again. So this itself gives me all the information that this diagram gave me. Okay, now this kind of diagram is called a Hasse diagram. Okay, you take the original diagram, from that you take out the self loop and you take out the transitive edges, you will end up with a diagram. This is okay, this will also be here, sorry. So whatever you have, this is a Hasse diagram. Alright, okay, let us do more examples of Hasse diagram. Okay, say I have this set and I have this relation less than or equal. Okay, so this will be, sorry, wrong notations. This is the set and this is the poset. Alright, now what are all the elements that will belong? 1 is less than 2, 1 is less than 3, 1 is less than 4, and 1 is less than equal to 1. Okay, then 2 is less than equal to 2, 2 is less than equal to 3, 2 is less than equal to 4. Then I have 3 is less than equal to 3, 3 is less than equal to 4, okay, and 4 is less than equal to 4. Okay, now normally what would have happened? In our normal diagram, I would have written 1, 2, 3, 4. In our normal diagram, I would have written this self loop 1, 1. I would have written 2, 2. Since 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, all of them exist. Okay. Then I would have written 1, 2. Okay. I would have written, I have written this, and this is gone. 1, 2, I would have written. 2, 3, I would have written. Okay, this is also gone. Then 3, 4, I would have written. This is also gone. Now 1, 3, I would have drawn. Okay, 1, 4, I would have drawn. Then 2, 4, 2, 3, I would have drawn. 2, 4, I would have drawn. Done. Sorry, 2, 3 is already drawn. I don't need to draw it again. So 2, 4 I would have drawn. Right. This would have been my normal diagram. Okay. From this normal diagram, let us now try to find out the Hasse diagram. Okay. Once again, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And this is my Hasse diagram. I have eliminated all this self loop. Okay, this one I have eliminated, this and this I have eliminated. Alright. So self loop I have eliminated. Now I have from 1 to 2 I have an edge, from 2 to 3 I have an edge. So the transitive implied edge is 1 to 3. I don't need this anymore. Okay. Then 1 to 2 I have, 2 to 3 I have, so 1 to 3 is implied. Then 3 to 4 I have, so 1 to 4 is implied. Okay, so this transitive edge 1 to 4, which is implied by my transitive property, I don't need that anymore. Similarly 2 to 3 I have, 3 to 4 I have, then 2 to 4 is implied. I don't need to draw this as well. Okay, so this whatever remains is my Hasse diagram. So this thing. Okay, so observe one thing. Previously when I drew the diagram, Okay, this diagram split like this. This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12. This is what the diagram look like. Now compare that to this diagram. Okay. Here it splits and then goes on, right? This is a partial order relation. Here all of them are comparable, they are on a single line. This is linear order, or this is total order relation. Your total order relation will look like a single line. Your partial order relation, which are not total order, they will split and they will look like this. Okay, so there is this partially they will be ordered. Here totally it will be one order. All right. So this is one more observation that I want you to make. Okay. Let us say this power set relation, power set of ABC, okay, and this subset, this is the relation that I have. So what will be the Hasse diagram of this? So what are all the subsets of ABC? I have this, I have A, B, C, then I have AB, I have BC, and I have CA, and I have ABC. Okay. So at the very bottom I will have this element. This is a subset of A, B, and C. Okay. Then I have AB, BC, CA. So this will be here, this will be here, B and C, this will be here, and this will be here. Okay. Then all of this will be subset of ABC. Okay. See here. Phi is a subset of C and C is a subset of CA. Then phi is a subset of CA. That is also true that phi is a subset of CA, but I don't need this H. Alright. This is implied by the transitive property. And I know all of these are subset. AB is a subset of itself. So I should have a self loop over here. But that also I don't need to draw, but that because that is implied. Okay. So all these transitive edges I don't need to draw, and all this self loop I don't need to draw. Alright. So this whatever remains is a Hasse diagram. There is a better way of drawing this. Alright. Let me draw it out of the book. So this is fine. If you draw this, it is fine. But then it looks beautiful when you draw it like this. This is phi. This is A. This is C. This is C, this is B, and then this is what? This is AB, this is AC, and this is BC, and this is ABC. So these two are the same Hasse diagram. This looks cluttered, this looks beautiful. But there is no marks for writing beautiful diagram, okay? So this itself is sufficient. But then your book, this is indicated in your book. So this, in my opinion, this looks good. So I drew this. Okay. Okay, there are a few more topics in your book, okay, which is not there in your syllabus. All right, so one of them is the principle of well ordered induction. The next would be finding minimal and maximal elements, and then upper bound and lower bound, and finally lattice. These are some important topics that is part of this partial order, okay, but this is not there in your syllabus. So in this video we will not go and do those topics, okay. The things that I did in this video, those are part of your syllabus, but after we complete this course, okay, there are a few more topics left in the course. So after we finish those topics, after we finish the course, I will come back and I will explain these topics, this principle of well ordered induction, then how to find maximal and minimal. These are very simple topic, but beyond your course, finding maximal and minimal elements, finding lower and upper bound, and then finally we will talk about lattice, okay. Then after you talk about lattice, or after you finish Hasse diagram, there is one more topic that you will study later on in algorithm. It is topological sorting, okay. So say I have this thing, I have some kind of a partial order diagram, okay. This Hasse diagram I have, okay. This implies some partial order. Here I have some task A, B, C, D, E, F, and say G, okay, and I have this edge also. So from A to G I have all these tasks. So what does this mean? D and C can be completed after A is completed, okay. D can be completed after B and C is completed. E can be completed after C is completed, F after D and E, and G finally after F is completed. So there is this ordering that is given to us by this partial order. Alright, so this partial order gives us this ordering, and from this ordering we have to do this sorting of this task in such a way that the task can be completed. We cannot have a sort like this, B, A, C, and etc etc. We cannot have this, okay. We cannot do the task in this order. Why? Because in order to do B, first we have to do A. So I cannot do B first and then A. I cannot do this. I have to do A first and then I can do the others, right? So one way to sort would be this. I will do A, then B, then C, then E maybe, then D, then F, then G, okay. So this is one valid way in which I can complete the task. So this kind of sorting out of this kind of a partial order can be done using something called topological sorting, okay. So that is also an important topic that is closely related to your partial order, but that is also beyond the beyond our syllabus, right? So that is also one more topic that you should look at. Apart from that, I will be doing one video at the very end regarding maximal and minimal element, lower and upper bound, principle of well-ordered induction, and Hasse diagram, okay. So these are important topics that you should know about, but these are not there in our syllabus. So anyway, today's video, I hope you found that easy, okay. I hope you understood everything. Today we saw what is the partial ordered relation. It is a relation that is reflexive, antisymmetric, and transitive. Then we saw how to figure out if some relation given a set, whether it is partial ordered or not. Then we saw what does it mean to say that two elements of the set, okay, the relation is always on a set. So two elements of the set, whether they are comparable, okay, or whether they are not comparable. Then we saw that if all the elements of the set are comparable, then that kind of a poset is called a total ordered poset, okay. Then we saw what is a well ordered set. It is a set with a relation, and under this relation, given any subset of the set, there should be a least element, okay. So we saw that in the set of positive integer, it is a well ordered set under the relation less than or equal to. But then given the same relation less than or equal to, but on a different set, that is set of all integers, okay, it is no longer a well ordered set, because with all integers we cannot have a least element. Alright, so we saw what is well ordered set. Then we saw what is a Hasse diagram. Okay, we learned how to draw a Hasse diagram. Essentially we take the digraph representation that we saw, and then we remove all the self loops. Why do we remove the self loop? Because it is implied, because all our partial ordered relation will have self loop, so we don't need to draw them. And then we remove all the transitive edges. Why do we remove the transitive edges? Same reason. All our poset will have these transitive edges. Alright, so these are implied. We don't need to explicitly draw them. Okay, so because of this reason, we can remove this self loop and transitive edges, and that is how we get a new diagram out of our digraph, and we call this diagram the Hasse diagram. Okay, so these are the topics in this video. I hope you understood everything. If not, you can of course WhatsApp me, you can mail me, or you can write your doubt in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. We will start our next video with a different topic. See you in the next video.